Have you ever felt like you just don't belong? Like there's something different about you, something that sets you apart from the rest of the world? Maybe you faced trials that seemed unbearable, but somehow, you came out stronger. Maybe you see through the lies and deceptions of this world while others blindly follow. If this resonates with you, listen closely. Because today, we are diving deep into the 9 signs that prove you are a chosen one, a person with a divine mission, a warrior in God's army, a beacon of light in a world filled with darkness. But before we begin, take a moment and do these 3 things. Backhand index pointing right, hit the subscribe button on Bible Peak to help spread God's word. Thumbs up, click the like button as an act of faith. Writing hand, leave the number 7 in the comments. This is not just a number, it's a symbol of perfection and completion in the works of God. The number 7 represents God's completeness, from the 7 lamps in the tabernacle to the 7 trumpet blasts that brought down the walls of Jericho. By writing this number, you are declaring to yourself and to the world that you are ready to receive the perfect blessings God has prepared for you. If you are truly chosen by God, you will stay until the very end, for your heart already knows that this message was sent just for you. Watching this video to the end is not just an action but a testament to your loyalty and unwavering faith in God. Let the number 7 in the comments be a powerful declaration that you are ready to step into His perfect plan. Sign 1. You are not fake, you stand for truth. The first sign that you are a chosen one is that you cannot be fake. The world is full of pretenders, people who wear masks, who lie to fit in, who compromise their values just to be accepted. But you? You cannot do it. You were created by God to walk in truth. Dishonesty, hypocrisy, and deception do not sit well with your spirit. Even when it would be easier to fake a smile, to agree with the crowd, to go along with the lies, you refuse. Something deep inside you rejects the idea of being anything other than authentic. This is because your spirit is aligned with God's truth. Jesus himself said in John 8 verse 32, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." You feel uneasy around people who gossip, manipulate, or deceive. Their presence drains you. You can see through the facade, and because of this, many people misunderstand you. They might call you too serious or too intense. Some may even dislike you for simply being yourself. But this is not a weakness, it's proof that you have been set apart. Just as Jesus walked among the Pharisees, refusing to partake in their hypocrisy, you too cannot stand the fakeness of this world. While others conform, you stand firm. You would rather walk away from a situation than compromise your integrity. This is why you have a special ability to sense dishonesty in others. It's almost like a radar, a God-given gift that allows you to see when someone is not genuine. Your ability to spot deceit is not a coincidence, it is a divine tool. Because as a chosen one, you are called to walk in light, not in the shadows of deception. So if you often feel like you don't fit in, if you struggle to tolerate fake people, and if truth is the foundation of your life, rejoice. It is a clear sign that you are one of God's chosen. Sign 2. You thirst for more, you refuse to settle. The second undeniable sign that you are a chosen one is that you cannot live an ordinary life. While the world tells people to be content with mediocrity, to follow the crowd, to obey without question, you feel a deep longing for something greater. Your soul rejects the idea of simply existing. You don't want to just wake up, work, pay bills, and repeat the cycle until you die. Something deep inside you whispers, there's more. More to life, more to existence, more to your purpose. And no matter how much the world tries to drown that voice out, you cannot silence it. This longing is not a mistake, it's a calling. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 tells us, He has set eternity in the human heart. This means that God placed a hunger inside of you, a hunger that cannot be satisfied with the temporary pleasures of this world. While others chase material things, seeking comfort in wealth, status, or entertainment, you feel like an outsider looking in. You understand that there's a greater reality beyond what can be seen. The superficial things that keep others content feel meaningless to you. And so, you search. You ask the deep questions. Why am I here? What is my true purpose? What does God want from me? While many people blindly follow the traditions of society, you step back and analyze. Like the poet Robert Frost, you have chosen the road less traveled. The narrow path. The difficult path. And this choice, this relentless pursuit of truth and meaning, is a sign that God is calling you for something greater. Jesus himself said in Matthew 7 verses 13 to 14, enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. You are one of the few. While others are satisfied with the temporary, you crave the eternal. While others accept the world as it is, you search for something beyond it. This hunger, this unquenchable thirst for purpose, is proof that you are one of God's chosen warriors. Are you starting to see the signs in your own life? If you relate to this, don't stop now, because we are only getting started. The next signs will reveal even deeper truths about your divine purpose. But first, take a stand in faith. White heavy checkmark. Subscribe to Bible Peak. White heavy checkmark. Click the like button to show that you believe. White heavy checkmark. Comment 7 to declare that you are ready for God's perfect plan in your life. Your journey is just beginning. Are you ready to step into your divine calling? Then keep watching. If you are a chosen one, your life has never been easy. From an early age, you faced trials that seemed almost unbearable. You have walked through fire, endured betrayals, suffered losses, and faced obstacles that others could not imagine. But somehow, you are still here. This is not a coincidence. Many are called, but few are chosen. And those who are chosen must be refined by fire. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. The trials you have endured were not meant to break you, they were meant to shape you into the warrior God needs you to be. Think of Joseph in the Bible. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. Yet, through it all, God was positioning him for greatness. His suffering was not in vain, it was the very thing that prepared him to save an entire nation. Your struggles are doing the same for you. Every painful experience, every hardship, every moment of suffering has given you wisdom, strength, and resilience. You are learning to walk by faith, not by sight. You are being trained to lead, to guide, and to uplift those who will come after you. And perhaps the most beautiful part? Even when you are struggling, you still find the strength to help others. When people come to you with their burdens, you understand their pain, because you've been there. You are able to comfort them, encourage them, and guide them toward hope because you have walked through the same valleys. This is what makes you different. While others crumble under pressure, you rise. While others complain, you grow. You don't just survive, you thrive. You may not see it yet, but the struggles you have endured are the very thing that is preparing you for your divine mission. So do not curse your trials. Embrace them. Because they are proof that you have been set apart for something far greater than you can imagine. From a young age, you questioned everything. While others simply accepted what they were told, you felt an unshakable urge to seek the truth. Why? Because you were never meant to follow the masses. You were meant to lead. This world is filled with deception. Society teaches people to follow blindly, to conform, to obey without question. But something inside of you rejects that. You have always known that there is more to this life than what meets the eye, while others are distracted by entertainment, material wealth, and fleeting pleasures. You are seeking something deeper. You are on a quest for knowledge, for wisdom, for a greater understanding of God's divine plan. This is why the things that satisfy most people do not satisfy you. You see beyond the surface. You question the systems of the world, the traditions, the beliefs that others follow without thought. Jesus himself was a seeker of truth. He challenged the religious leaders, exposed hypocrisy, and spoke of a kingdom that was not of this world. His mission was not to conform but to reveal. And if you are truly chosen, you are following in his footsteps. This is why you feel like an outsider. Your thirst for truth sets you apart. You do not settle for comfortable lies. You demand truth. No matter how difficult it is to accept, and as you seek, you find, your spirit is awakening. You are beginning to see the world as it truly is, a battlefield between light and darkness. And because of this, you cannot go back to the way things were before. This is both a blessing and a burden. Because once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. One of the most painful but undeniable signs of being a chosen one is that you have always felt different. Maybe you don't share the same interests, beliefs, or values as your family. Maybe you have struggled to connect with people, always feeling like an outsider. Maybe you've even wondered, why do I feel like I don't belong anywhere? This feeling is not an accident. It is a sign. The world operates on conformity. Society rewards those who fit in, who follow the rules, who think and behave like everyone else. But you? You were never meant to blend in. You march to the beat of a different drum, a rhythm that most people do not understand. You see the world through a lens that others cannot comprehend. Your mind operates on a higher frequency, tuned into something greater than the ordinary. This is why your presence makes people uncomfortable. They do not understand you. They cannot relate to you. And sometimes, they even reject you because of it. Jesus warned about this very thing. In John 15 verse 19, he said, "If you belonged to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you." Let that sink in. The feeling of not belonging is actually proof that you were never meant to. Because your home is not here. You were chosen for a higher calling, one that sets you apart from the rest of the world. So while it may hurt to feel like the black sheep, take heart. Because it is a sign that you are on the right path. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to lead, to inspire, and to awaken others to their true purpose. These are not just random experiences. They are signs, divine indicators that you are meant for something greater. You are being tested. You are being refined. You are being prepared for a mission that will impact the world in ways you cannot yet see, and the journey is far from over. Because the next signs will reveal even deeper truths about your divine calling. Stay strong. You are not alone. Have you ever wondered why, despite the pain, the betrayals, and the disappointments, you still choose to be kind? Even when people take advantage of you, even when your heart has been broken over and over again, you refuse to let bitterness consume you. This is not weakness. This is proof that you are chosen. In a world that teaches people to be selfish, to be ruthless, to put themselves first, you remain different. Your heart refuses to harden. No matter how many times people have used your kindness, no matter how many times you've given and received nothing in return, you still choose love. This is because your spirit is aligned with God's nature. Think about Jesus. He was mocked, rejected, and ultimately crucified by the very people he came to save. But did he let that stop him? No. Even as he hung on the cross, he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23 verse 34. And that same spirit of unshakable love lives inside you. When people hurt you, your first instinct is not revenge, it's to understand. You wonder why they act the way they do. You feel compassion, even for those who have wronged you. And while others allow pain to make them cold, your pain only deepens your empathy. Make no mistake, this is not normal. Most people become bitter after being hurt. Most people shut down. But you? You continue to give, to love, to serve. This is why you attract both good and bad people. Some recognize your kindness and cherish it. But others see it as an opportunity. They take from you, they lie to you, they try to break you down. Yet, despite all of this, you do not stop being who you are. This is not a flaw, it is your strength. Your ability to love, even in the face of betrayal, proves that you are a child of God, so keep being who you are. Because in the end, it is love that overcomes evil. There is a voice inside of you that has always whispered, "You are different." You may have tried to ignore it. You may have questioned it. But no matter what, that feeling never leaves. It is a deep knowing, a sense that you are here for something far greater than an ordinary life. This is because God placed that calling inside of you before you were even born. In Jeremiah 1 verse 5, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." You have always felt out of place in this world. The things that excite most people do not excite you. The things that distract them do not distract you. While others chase after money, fame, and pleasure, you long for something deeper. This is why you often feel like you don't belong. It's not that there's something wrong with you. It's that your spirit remembers where you truly belong. Sometimes, you feel like you are waiting for something, but you don't even know what. You see through the distractions of the world. You recognize that this life is temporary. And you long for something more meaningful, more eternal. This is a divine sign. God has placed a mission inside of you, and He is waiting for you to step into it. And this is why your intuition is so strong. You can sense when something is off, even when others can't. You feel things before they happen. You know when someone is lying, when something isn't right, when a situation is not what it seems. This is not just instinct, this is spiritual discernment. It is the Holy Spirit guiding you, warning you, protecting you from paths that would lead you away from your calling. Many people ignore this voice. But you? You listen, and that's why you are on the path you are on today. If you are truly chosen, you have probably noticed something strange. Some people just don't like you, even when you've done nothing to them. You walk into a room, and they immediately feel uncomfortable. You speak truth, and they respond with hostility. You try to be kind. And yet, they treat you with suspicion or even hatred. Why? Because your light exposes their darkness. This world is full of people who are comfortable living in deception. They lie to themselves. They convince themselves that their actions are right, even when they are not. They justify their sins, but when you come around, something happens. Your presence reminds them of what they are trying to ignore. Your goodness highlights their lack of integrity. Your honesty exposes their deception. Your faith challenges their unbelief, and instead of changing, instead of searching for the truth, they attack you instead. This is exactly what happened to Jesus. He was the embodiment of pure love and truth, yet he was hated, rejected, and crucified. In John 15 verses 18 to 19, Jesus warned his followers, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belonged to the world, it would love you as its own. But you do not belong to the world, and that is why the world hates you." Let that sink in. If people dislike you for no reason, if they treat you unfairly, if they seem to resent you even though you've done nothing wrong, it's because your spirit does not belong to this world. Your very existence challenges their way of life. They see you, and something inside them feels convicted. But do not let their hatred discourage you, because the more opposition you face, the stronger your proof that you are walking in the light. So keep shining. Keep being who God made you to be. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable, because you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. These signs are not coincidences. They are proof that you have been called for something greater. You are a warrior, a leader, a light in the darkness, and the next signs will reveal even deeper truths about your divine purpose. There is one final sign that undeniably proves you are a chosen one. It is something that has been with you your entire life, something that whispers to you in the silence, something that pulls you forward when everything around you says to give up. You believe, even when things didn't make sense. Even when life was unfair. Even when you had every reason to walk away, you held on to faith, and this faith is not blind. It is not a coincidence. It is not something that you simply inherited from your upbringing. No, this faith was placed inside of you before you were even born. It is the deep, unshakable knowing that you are part of something much greater than yourself. Some people live their entire lives without ever acknowledging God. They drift through existence, never questioning, never searching, never feeling anything beyond what they can see and touch. But you have always felt the presence of something more, even if you didn't fully understand it, even if you didn't have the words to describe it. Something inside of you always knew that you were being guided, protected, and called. You have seen evidence of God's hand in your life. You have watched as impossible situations were turned around for your good. You have experienced moments where you should have failed, should have been destroyed, should have been left with nothing, but somehow, you survived. And not just survived, you grew stronger. That is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is God. You may not always know the full picture. You may not always understand why things happen the way they do. But deep inside, you trust that there is a divine plan unfolding, and that you are part of it. This is what makes you a chosen one. Because to be chosen does not mean you are perfect. It does not mean you are the smartest, the richest, or the most powerful. It means you hear the call and you answer it. It means that even when the world tries to pull you away, you refuse to let go of the truth. It means that no matter how many times you fall, you always get back up, because you know you were created for something greater. If you have resonated with these signs, if you have felt the truth of these words in your soul, then you must understand something. This is not an accident. You did not stumble upon this message by chance. You are not here by mistake. This moment was divinely orchestrated, because you are being called. God has placed a mission inside of you, a mission that only you can fulfill. And here's what you need to know: the world will try to silence you. It will tell you that you are wrong, that you should conform, that you should ignore the voice inside of you and just live a normal life. But you were never meant to live a normal life. You were meant to rise up, to walk in faith, to step into the destiny that God has prepared for you. And yes, this path is not easy. To be chosen means to be tested. It means walking through fire, standing alone, facing trials that seem impossible. But hear this: you are never alone. God has never left your side, not once, not for a second. Even in your darkest moments, even when you felt abandoned, even when you thought no one cared, He was there, watching, guiding, preparing you for this very moment. And now, it is time to step forward. If you see yourself in these signs, if you feel the call stirring inside of you, do not ignore it. This is your confirmation. This is your wake-up call. You are here for a reason. God has a plan for your life, and it is greater than anything you could ever imagine. But He will not force it upon you. You must choose to walk in it. So today, Make a decision. Decide to step into your calling. Decide to stop doubting yourself. Decide to stop living in fear. Stop holding back. Stop hiding your light, because the world needs you. The world needs your faith. The world needs your voice. The world needs your obedience to the call of God. There are lives waiting to be touched by you. There are people waiting for the light you carry. There is a divine assignment that only you can complete. Will you answer the call, or will you walk away? The choice is yours. But if you are truly chosen, you already know the answer. You have always known. Now, step forward in faith, because your journey is just beginning.